All right, hey everyone, V64 has officially released for the Quest. We now have V64, which is our April update. These updates are usually coming out monthly. If you guys want to see me go over the release notes every single month, feel free to leave a comment down below and I will make sure to get back to this in the month of May when we get V65. So for now, let's jump into some of the update material we got in V64. So to start, they added a experimental lying down while using the Quest 3 feature. This one seems to be a little bit controversial because not many people understand what's actually been improved now that we have this use apps while laying down feature. So if you go ahead into your Quest, go to experimental settings and then use apps while laying down, you'll be able to activate this feature and then hold down the meta button to recenter your view while in an app to reset it to be able to use it while lying down. I thought this was already possible. We're going to go ahead and use it with the YouTube VR app on the Quest 3 to provide a little demonstration for you guys. All right, so here we are in VR replicating a laying down experience. Sure enough, when I go ahead and recenter, everything is straight up ahead of me while in VR. But I'm not entirely sure if this is any different than before the experimental phase. So we'll go ahead and look up some data as well to confirm if this is any sort of improvement or change to the overall laying down features of the Quest. I wanted to note real quick that this was already available on the Quest 2 and Quest Pro as of V63, but they just added in V64 the ability to lay down in the Quest 3. So this is a update that I think everybody kind of already thought that we had, but was kind of finalized to be a lot more intuitive and easy, and most apps will all have the same function now, whereas some, I guess, were not really working when you wanted to use it laying down. So overall, big improvement. The second major update is adding external mic support for your Quest 3. So if you go ahead and purchase a external microphone that can use a USB-C port or an adapter, which we'll take a look at some on Amazon and overlay really quick, you'll now be able to plug those into your Quest to be able to use as an external microphone by going into, once again, experimental settings and then external mic to activate. Third major update is casting when headset is taken off. So if you're casting from your Quest 3 to your phone or a TV in your house, you'll now be able to take the headset off and it will keep casting what its cameras are picking up on. So previously, whenever the headset would be taken off of a person, it would immediately cancel casting and it would be turned off because they didn't want people taking off their headset, forget they were casting, and then cast for too long and potentially damage the headset as it's still running and casting to a device. But it was clear that there were so many use cases where people wanted to be able to take off the headset for just a second and keep it casting, maybe give it to another person, grab a drink, be able to just use the cameras and see what it looks like to cast. So now this is available for people to be using, and it is immediately activated. So if you're going to be casting from your Quest headset, make sure that you remember that when you take it off, it will resume casting on your phone or TV. So here we are streaming to my desktop on the left monitor right here. That's just the streaming software to record all this, but here I am over on the left monitor. Theoretically, when I put my hand up here and take this off, it should keep casting. And it doesn't. It goes to black. I have no idea why. It said they would change this to where casting would be enabled when the headset's off, but they just haven't done. So I don't really know why this is happening. I'm on V64, so I guess we'll see in an upcoming update. Fourth update is that if you are using the People application from the home of the Quest 3, you'll now be able to access your friends' worlds if they're in Horizon World. So if you have a friend who's hanging out in a Horizon World and they have it in their settings to not only have the place publicly available for you to see, but also make it joinable by friends, you'll be able to join them directly, which makes it a lot easier for people to join their friends in Horizon Worlds if you happen to see somebody online in a world you're interested in. Finally, the most important primary update for this, in my opinion, is the pass-through improvements. So I would say that it's clear that Meta's taking a position of really focusing on pass-through environments and making sure that it is optimal and really set up to be a great situation for everybody using it. It's clear that with the Vision Pro coming out and how much Apple is pushing people towards using pass-through environments, pass-through is really going to be what gets the majority of users beyond the early adopters to really pick up the Quest headset, because being able to use all these interfaces while still being in a pass-through environment where you can talk to your family, your friends, be able to look around your house or apartment wherever you're staying in order to really get to still be in control of your environment while in a virtual world. So the first update is about improved resolution. So in their words, they said the first update was improving resolution by optimizing the pass-through pipeline. By pass-through pipeline, they're referring to taking the camera that is picked up by the Quest 3 on the outside, encoding it, and then turning it into what we see on the lenses when you're using a Quest 3. So they were able to change something in the code and something in this experience to really make the quality a lot better when you're using pass-through. The second part of this is that they said improved image quality with improved color, exposure, contrast, and dynamic range and pass-through. which makes colors in Passthrough a lot better to really match the real world. This was something that when I put on the headset after updating to V64 was super obvious. I thought the colors looked great, and I thought Passthrough was a much better environment. Something we have Meta specifically quoted saying is that it should improve the ability to see notifications on a smartphone screen. This is really important. People's ability to be able to check their phones while in VR seems to be very vital. People are so connected to their phones and need to check them consistently that you can't just keep the headset on for an hour at a time without checking your phone for most people. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the Quest 3 and take a look at this and really be able to compare the pass-through quality and be able to look at my phone screen, and hopefully we'll be able to see maybe some differences in quality and how that might be beneficial to users. All right, guys, here we are just doing a really quick review of the overall pass-through environment and any improvements that have been made. So as I mentioned before, I would definitely say that from my experience that the color quality and contrast is significantly better than what we were seeing before. I am in what I would say is subpar lighting right now, kind of some lighting coming through the crack of my window, a really bad lamp, and some poor overhead lighting. But even in this current environment, I think the color contrast is overall significantly better. But the graininess in low light conditions I would not say is better. I'm not sure if you guys are seeing the same experience that I am, but I would say the graininess here is still pretty rough overall, although I would say the overall quality and latency is very good and the color contrast is very strong as well. So we're going to go ahead and look at my phone. So here we are on the Reddit app. I think one of the overall goals is really to be able to read smaller text and stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and look at this one under Quest 3, and I actually am able to read this entire post. So I would say overall this is a pretty strong experience. For the first time, I'm really able to read small text on my phone, which I think is a great thing for Quest. I think that this is going to be something that keeps users in with longer sessions and really drives more people in to use the device even when they would have gone onto a computer or something otherwise. So we'll take a second to use a watch as well, just because I think this is a great opportunity, something that is really good for Quest users and virtual reality users. When I get to feel notifications here from my phone, this is a much easier way to get me in and out of Quest in short term. I'm able to read the weather. With text very small, it can have slightly more issues reading those smaller numbers, but overall, I would say that this is far more usable than it was before. I mean, I'm able to go into my calendar, I'm able to go into look at time and weather, notifications are a lot easier to read. So overall, I would say that in Passthrough, it's been significantly improved in color contrast, and the ability to use your phone and other devices is also significantly improved. So overall, a really great direction for Passthrough. All right, so we've now taken a look through all of the release notes for the Quest 3, which are all available down below in the description if you want to take a look at them yourself. Let me know what you guys think of the improvements they made. I personally really like the improvements they've made to Passthrough, and I'm not really sure how I feel about the lying down on Quest 3 one. That honestly, that one's a little weird to me. Let me know if you guys are going to be picking up any external mics or anything, but yeah, shoot a comment down below to get some discussions going, and I hope to see you guys next month for V65.